So welcome back to Back on Black and everything. And I gotta tell you, it's been a long time. We had like a summer vacation, haven't we, Addae?
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
We all came
well,
at the same time as the sun came out. So we had to, get the sun out and then, now we're back, black on black.
well, yeah, man. I mean, like I'm over here in the studio and Addie's still in his house hiding from me, but this okay. I mean, I thought he was coming in, but we'll do what we gotta do. And because we felt that this was a good time to come back because well, a sad time. So it's like the best of times and the worst of times. Because we felt that we definitely wanted
Hmm.
to talk about the death of the king, Chadwick Boseman. We were just passed last week, and it's hitting everyone globally. And I just thought that for our first new show, it'd be good to talk about the legend that is Chadwick Boseman and stuff.
Hmm.
Because like a lot of people were talking about the fact that he was living with colon cancer for like the past 4 years, and no one knew about it. And but it seemed like he was a man on a serious mission because forget about 21 Blocks. His quest was to make films of merit, to deal with characters that
Did
are
you not like
legends.
it?
Well, no, no, no. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, he did it. He did it for the boys. He did it for the Russo brothers, and everything, and he did get to play, like, kind of like a Steve McQueen type of lead in a Bullet type of film. But, I was looking to focus here more on the legendary characters from Jackie Robinson to James Brown to Thurgood Marshall, and
Yeah.
then, of course, the legendary Black Panther and stuff. Because I actually watched Get On Up last night and everything because I thought, knowing that this was coming
It
in,
is,
it's
yeah.
crazy. It's
That
crazy.
actually I think is my favorite Chadwick Boseman film actually
Is
that he's
it?
been in. I
Yeah.
think it is Get On Up is the best for me.
It's funny because I mean, man, I just been devouring all kind of interviews, past interviews and past experiences with Chadwick and everything. And he never wants to do the imitation. Like he always said,
Yeah.
no, 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 don't, you ain't getting me to sing. You know. But when I look back at the film last night, I was like, wow, it wasn't just like the singing, but the performance, man.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? I mean that shuffling dance, sand dancing, I think they used to call it back in the long days. Like he was just phenomenal and stuff.
Yeah. I think
And
basically what you say is that with Chadwick Boseman, what he was able to do more than a lot of others is inhibit a character so much that you forget that it's him. You know, it
yeah,
was so much so that the first the show that came out this year, the Five Bloods.
mm,
When that first came out, it took me like a good few minutes to get used to Chadwick Boseman, not as James Brown, because I figured that because it
mm,
started to sound a little bit, and
yeah,
then you realize who he was. I think
yeah,
he has that ability to play real people.
yeah. No, no, exactly. I mean, like because if you go back like to the first one, 42, Jackie Robinson. I actually, because I got like one of those Roku sticks, and I actually watched like an original dramatic film of Jackie Robinson. It's called The Jackie Robinson Story. Like back in the day when they used to do like the Lou
Okay.
Gehrig story. And in America, we love our baseball and stuff. And,
Yes.
so when I saw that original one, I was like, oh, wow, I mean, like they really did try to capture the man,
Mm.
like in his history. And so, when Chadwick did that in 42, you can understand this is the star. You can understand why Kevin Feige and the Marvel clan said this is the guy. This is the guy we need for Black Panther. And so he did that in legendary portrayal, and then if I remember right, he was on a press tour for Get On Up when he got the call, when he got the call to, come to the Olympus of Marvel and join the family. I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
that one when he came out on stage at like I think it was like a D23 type of event, when he was introduced by Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans for the first time as the Black Panther. Did you ever see that one and stuff?
Uh,
And it
no, I
was,
haven't seen it actually. No.
I mean, nice. So it's just like, I'm a geek, right? It was just like one of those big public events where, like the two legends of Iron Man and Captain America call out the third of the Trinity of Chadwick, to join them on
Mhm.
stage. And I think,
Yeah.
that was the beginning of like, something truly phenomenal was going to happen with this man, and we were kind of like speculating a little bit in the show notes when we were saying like it was at this time that he must have kind of like found out, but like, you know, because they wanted him so bad, maybe he just kind of like slipped through the whole medicals and everything like that. But then he endeavored to keep the secret. So he's like, look, I'm gonna do something here while I'm here, you know? And I mean that's gotta be difficult,
Yeah.
man. I mean, to know that your time is coming to an end and what do you do with it? I mean, what would you do with it if you knew your time was coming to an end?
To me, it's not so much. You see, that's the thing. You talk about things that are common stories, and there's not common story. I
Mm-hmm.
think that black creators and professionals, maybe across the board, we have learned to do work without complaining.
Mm.
You know,
Well, because we're
we've
happy to have the
learned
work,
to
right?
show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've learned that you need to have a certain work ethic as a black person. You need to be, and I always put that down to somebody like Samuel L. Jackson. He's in
Oh,
everything
yeah.
because of his work ethic. Nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes with Sam. Nobody knew what was going on with Chadwick, and basically what I see, if for example, if you get sick, you know that you are still going to go to work because of your son, because of
Mm.
what's going to happen in the future, because you have a responsibility,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's going through it and not complaining.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm pretty sure like his family's well taken care of. But like you said, he's also very private in that, and I
Yeah,
mean, he knew like when he did like Mace Windu and all this, he knew like I'm gonna get paid. You want me in your movie, I'm gonna get paid, and then I'm gonna collect it,
yeah,
but I'm also gonna bring it, and everything. And yeah, man, if I heard that Sam was going, I would be really devastated as well. Because I mean, that's the whole thing.
yeah,
There's very few actors, that can have that kind of impact. I mean, and speaking of that, I mean, like, when Black Panther premiered, right? I
yeah,
said this. I don't know if I said it on our show or if I said it on another show, but I mean, and it's a shame, right? It's really a shame for me to say it as a black man, but I mean, when I looked at the reactions to people around the world, especially in Africa, in all the different, countries in Africa, somebody actually pulled out a phone or whatever it was and took video of Africans in a movie theater in their country, right? And I actually said the embarrassing thing of, wait a minute, they got a movie theater,
they got what?
they got a movie theater. I mean, look at that, man. They're holding like a
Oh,
big.
come
They're
on,
holding like
man.
a big. Dude, I did not know. Right? They're holding big popcorn and the drink and everything because of the way the media is. Come on, this is true. The way the
Yeah,
media represents Africa is it's really poor state, which we know it's not, but this is how it's represented, right,
yeah,
to the wide world. So when Black Panther was out and it was premiering all over the world, everybody wanted to, share their glee and their excitement, including the people in these countries. And so we saw it on the YouTube that, oh my God, they have all of this stuff. Why do we think that this is such a devastated country? Do you know what I mean? And it was just a wide, eye-opening experience for me. And I mean, that's what it meant for me, where kids were like but people paid for kids to go to the theaters, and they were having this huge excitement and everything like that. I mean, what was your experience of that when you saw the reactions of this movie?
You see, the problem is, I'm gonna out myself here on the show.
Better not say it.
To be honest, I it's not that bad, right?
What did you do?
I literally only watched Black Panther under a month ago, actually, for the first time.
Why?
All right.
You're no longer.
I watched it after his death. I think it doesn't matter, because here's what I think. I wasn't in the place to appreciate it.
There we go. Wait. That does matter.
I have different views.
That does matter. So tell us about it. Tell us about it, because it's true. What you're saying is true. So tell us about it. Be honest.
Yeah. I don't think I was in the place to appreciate it. I think, there are some things that you feel you have to know before, or get deeper into a world before, because for a while, I think to myself, ever since I came over here to the UK, I think I've lost a lot of love for Marvel. I don't know why, and I can't even understand why. I have.
Do you think it was representation? Huh? Do you think it was representation?
I think it was. I think I didn't like that. I like that it had this kind of guy in Iron Man, Don Cheadle, right?
Or Terrence
and they
Howard.
Started to drip people. Oh, they started, and we ignored for a long time how we treat Black actors in mainstream. All right, and here we had the biggest show. Every time it came out, it was the biggest show, right? When Iron Man came out, it was the biggest, and Iron Man 2 came out, and all these shows built on each other, and it took a very long time before Marvel decided to put somebody on. And as much pride it gave me to know that there was a show like this on, the people who control the show being on are other people. You understand what I mean?
Listen, man.
It's they that put him there so that we're okay with it, So it comes down to what we're talking about off air. When we mentioned.
We're gonna go more. We're gonna go more into that. But I just wanted to say to this one is that you're absolutely right. But and I think this is a testament to the power of Chadwick's influence, right? They initially was going to have Ava DuVernay direct Black Panther. Did you remember that? Did you remember hearing that rumor? So Ava DuVernay, who did Selma,
heard of that very early on.
Yeah, Ava DuVernay, who did Selma and all this other kind of stuff, because she was the quote unquote, hey, look, she covered two boards. She's Black and a female, right? And so she was initially supposed to do it. But I'm pretty sure that somewhere along the discussion, it came down to Ryan Coogler. Now, remember, Ryan Coogler only had done Fruitvale Station, and I think he did Creed at this time. And because of the success of that, that they kind of kowtowed and said, okay. But it was through that demand of having Ryan, and I'm pretty sure having Chadwick, that they made sure that all the top tier brass were Black. And this never happened before. So Marvel had to kind of sit back and go, wait a minute, I don't know, wait a minute. Because as you're right, it took them forever to produce Black Panther. It was always on the cards.
Yeah, but it's not really that. I understand what you mean, but I don't think it was even that, because I think as a director, for me, he needed some more stuff under his belt before Black Panther.
You're so right,
you know
man.
What I mean?
You're so right.
As much as I enjoyed the show, I don't think it had the depth I wanted for what Black Panther could have been.
See, we're gonna have to disagree on this because I think what would also,
Good.
no, because also it's like we only hear about Kevin Feige, but what you don't know is that there's a whole team of people around Feige, right? Like Louis Desposito. It used to be Jeff Loeb, but like there's a black guy in that mix. This guy Nate Moore. So what it was is that they kind of like say, hey, look, you handle that. You understand it. You handle that. And he did. He went with Ryan and Ryan's writing partner, and all of that. And they really created or constructed a world that we've never seen before, to the point that we've never had to believe that Africa could be such a rich country, that there could be so many powerful actors. And that's why you had legends like Forrest Whitaker and Angela Bassett, all in this movie, all up in this movie. Everybody probably like, look, man, I will do this for free. Let me just be in this movie. Do you know what I'm saying? And you got to give that up to like Ryan. You got to give that up to Chadwick as being the center of that universe. And the point is that it got all the Oscars for it as well. So it got all the accolades.
Yeah.
Like Chadwick didn't get Best Actor because they're not giving that up. They gave score and they gave costume design and they gave art direction, and that all went to that. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is that was the bubble was created around this man, to create something phenomenal, which is why people are arguing about now that can it continue. So here's the question to you. Even though you said, hey, I came on board late, but you finally came on board. Do you think that the actor or the character is important? So as an actor, what do you think? Do you think they should continue on for Black Panther 2 with that in mind? Do we focus on, the character or do we focus on the actor?
I think that you have a very ripe, fertile ground to tell a different story and let the story lead it rather than the actor lead it. Again, one thing for being in the UK is that people in the UK qualify actors or quantify actors based on how they portray a character, while having an American aesthetic to films, you look at the personality to judge a show a lot, As the American film industry calls an actor to be themselves, more or less. A UK arena will quicker bring an actor to be somebody else. You understand?
Yeah, no. I totally get you. I mean, but the point is, I mean, you asked before, I mean, did they already have started work on Black Panther 2?
Yeah,
I said that they haven't. And now this is where my suspicion was about who knew and who didn't know. But beyond all of that, my belief is that it's more about the character, the legend, than the actor who portrayed it excellently. So, I mean, obviously being devastated into the loss. I mean, they've already established Necropolis, which is the land of the dead that they've established in the movie. There's all purple Aurora Borealis, where he goes to visit his father and stuff like that. There's nothing stopping. His father was a Black Panther before him. They had it in the beginning of the movie. So there's nothing to stop, like Shuri, who in the comics became the Black Panther, to take on the role of her brother, another beloved actress from the movie, Letitia Wright. And then maybe doing some CGI thing or whatever, saying goodbye to Chadwick. I think we get our goodbye, and I think we get our passing of the torch, because they can always also do a stuntman in the suit that something happened before the film or at the cold opening of the film that the Wakanda loses their king. Oh my God, look at that. I'm writing the script right now. Do you know what I mean?
As you're saying it, I'm writing it too. I'm thinking it would be so rich if it starts with a funeral.
Thank God,
if it starts
funeral
with
for a king.
funeral of.
Oh my God. We wrote it.
of the king. Yeah.
We
And
wrote
that,
it. We broke it.
you need a new Black Panther, and
And and
something
and
happens in Wakanda that
and yeah.
Suri has no choice but to, and she doesn't want to do it.
And not only that, because what was supposed to happen in Black Panther 2 was they were supposed to encounter Namor and Atlantis. So it's like, so instead of it being brute force, you know what I mean? I mean, sure, we could still, be brute force against Namor, but it's freaking Namor, right? That could take her mind, brain versus brawn, to take on the King of Atlantis and everything, along with the friends called the Avengers. You know what I mean? So, I mean, look at that. Broke it again. Look at that. Now we got the second act.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? No, I'm just saying, man.
You're
Get the
welcome.
right. Yeah, you're welcome. Get the right. But it still doesn't dishonor his legacy. It doesn't take away anything that Chadwick, the man who created Black Panther, the King, has done, and it's better than not doing anything at all, right? Because the world that was created was powerful enough for we as the populace to hold on to. It wasn't just him. I think anybody who has any stories around it will say that they love seeing Wakanda itself. There were so many different characters that were there that are all still here that could continue on. But as we just said, that they can share their sadness and their love with the funeral for a king. You know what I mean? And everything. So that's what I think. But so that's what
I think that if they are going to have another Black Panther, that Chadwick has his image must be in it.
Well, yeah, obviously,
it'll be horrible. No, well, as I said, it'll be horrible if they do, like an Aunt Viv on us or something. You know what I mean?
Well, you remember You remember Spider-Man: Far From Home? I mean, Tony was dead, and his images were everywhere. Graffiti and paintings on the wall and all that artistic renditions and everything. And it's not even his freaking movie. But it was because it was after Endgame, it was their way of honoring, Tony Stark and stuff. So, they can do all of that, but yeah, so I just wanted to be able to, talk about him. But then as I was, looking and lamenting over, Chadwick, then the evils of Hollywood had crept in, right? Because I'm on the internet, and it just seems weird that it's happening now at this time. But two beloved African American actors are facing the system, as we always have faced the system, right? But I just thought that in this time, to talk about it, and that is like. Ray Fisher and his fight with Joss Whedon has now gone public. And well, it was already kind of public, but now Warner Brothers has elicited a response that I was just telling you about, because we just, as the public, if you watch DC Fandom the other week, we first met Walter Hamada for the first time, the head of DC. And so Ray has called him out as far as, what are you going to do about this Joss Whedon situation? And Hamada has responded by saying, what situation is that? Right? Now, he knows what situation it is, right? And on the one hand, he was willing, this is what Ray Fisher has said on his many Instagram lives, was he was willing to throw Josh and John Bird under the bus, but don't touch Jeff Johns. Now, you know who Jeff Johns is. Like, Jeff Johns used to be the CEO of DC, was it Mark? DC. And he's the head guy behind Stargirl, which I had just did, a whole series rest stops on our channel, Big Hondo at Essentials. And I can't wait for season 2, but they don't want Ray to pull Jeff into the mix, and
Uh,
and
uh,
it's a
I
bad.
can't understand why isn't he the writer?
He's the writer, but he was made the CEO. So
Yeah.
if for those of you out there who don't know more, is that Jeff Johns and John Berg were the guys who were behind Batman versus Superman, and then they were behind Justice League. And but after the experience of Batman versus
Okay.
Superman, they were like, "Yo, this that guy. He's dark, man. He's too dark." And everything. And he's like, you know who I am, and you know where I was going, so I'm going to keep going. And then his daughter had committed suicide, Zack Snyder. And so then he go, oh, you know what, man, maybe you need to take time off. And pushed him out the door. He said, hey, you know your buddy Josh, he's going to take over for you. But don't
Yeah.
worry, we got this film. We got it. We got it. We got it. That's what he. And so Ray is saying, yeah, but Josh, he played your ball, but not ours. And that's why not many people like Justice League. Do you like Justice League? The one that came out in the theaters? Did you like it?
Um.
Come on, you saw that one, didn't
I
you?
have a love-hate relationship with it. I have a
Everybody
love-hate
does.
relationship with it. I have a love-hate relationship. They're like, you like it because
It's Justice League.
it's your heroes. You understand?
Mm-hmm. I
It's
do.
Justice League, and I think Justice League came at a time when you wanted to balance everybody. It was showing that here's what none of them are great by their own, or they are great by their own, but look at them fighting together. Look at them accomplishing something together.
Yeah.
So I found like I kind of liked it. I liked it. I liked it more than a lot of people hated it. You know what I
But
mean?
did
Because
you
there was
hear
a lot of
about?
criticism
Yeah, but
against
did
it
you hear about the
about the
Snyder?
way
But
the
did you hear about the
character
Snyder cut
for
though? Did you hear about the Snyder cut? And did you see any footage from it?
um no, I didn't see any for this film because I know that there was also a Snyder cut for Batman v Superman, right?
No, that one actually came out and it wasn't no better. But I mean, I'll be fair. But what it was is that
Really?
yeah, there's a director's cut of Batman versus Superman, and what you got is you got all these deleted scenes of Clark Kent being a detective, and it's Bruce Wayne who's supposed to be a detective. So I don't know what the hell was going on there. But no, the Snyder cut actually, what it was is that the theatrical cut that came out was brightened up. So they changed the color palette from blue to orange. And all the stuff that you saw in the first trailer was not in the movie. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
they changed everything, they squeezed everything because it was like about a 3 to 4 hour cut that they demanded be cut down to an hour and a half. So they ripped the gut out, right? Which means that they ripped out all the scenes. Cyborg, who cares about that guy? And they tried
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
change a series of nights into one day. Yeah. So they created one adventure instead of the series. So obviously, in the Snyder Cut, without spoilers, but I mean, people know about it, is that Superman was evil and the Justice League was fighting an evil Superman. But instead, they just did this crazy grave digger scene, and Superman had the big fight, with them shirtless, and that was it. But there was a lot more to it in the original Snyder Cut version, though. And so we're going to get all
Yeah.
of this because if you didn't watch Fandom a couple weeks ago, is that the Snyder Cut is now being made to be 4 parts. So it's going to be released as 4 1 hour um, episodes on HBO Max in January and stuff.
Okay.
And so this is all out now and everything. And like, but it's like, well, why did Josh Whedon tear it apart? And so rumor has it is he was told to do it by these executives. But then Ray Fisher alludes to the fact that it might have been a little bit more, right? And
Okay.
like, so that means all of his scenes were cut, meaning his hero. Remember the black man as a hero? No, I don't think so. As well as his, attitudes towards Wonder Woman, as and all of this other kind of stuff as well. So this is why there's this whole big dispute. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, uh, what are you gonna say? There is no black actor who has not heard that story before, or
Exactly.
who that has not happened to. All right,
Exactly.
and I
Exactly.
think as times change, we're gonna hear about it a lot more because basically before, you know, people were afraid to talk up,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now there is this public perception. You see, yeah, we have to recognize the people who are fighting for the industry, you know.
This is
And we have some actors who are trying to fight the industry,
all right.
and it's not so much fighting to be in films, but fighting to be respected in films. Because
There we
it's
go.
easier
There
to
we
take
go.
a
Say
black
it,
director.
bros.
It's easy to take a black actor. It's easy to make a lot of choices and just put a black person, because I am sure that through 80% of the films we've both seen white leads, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when there's a black person in an insignificant role, we
Mm-hmm.
attach to that character.
Yeah,
You
of course you
understand?
do. Of course
I
you do.
think that that's what they're doing. I think that's what they're doing. You
Yep.
know, he'll be in the show 10 minutes, but he's on the poster.
Yeah.
Let's lure in, that kind of thing.
But
It's all a money game.
this is the whole complaint. This is why I was saying about the John Boyega thing. It's the whole complaint is that you bring a group of people out on stage, and it's like, so somebody in the audience is going to find someone they relate to. They're going to relate to the woman. They're going to relate to the handicapped person. They're going to relate to the ethnic person, and all of this other kind of stuff. But you really only is just showing, hey, look, we got this whole rainbow on the stage. But then who is the main character but the white guy? Do you know what I mean? It's,
Yeah.
it's, 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 it's just that's what we see all the time. And so when you have people usually are stum about it, they're quiet about it. And then when they speak up, it's like, oh, you're a problem. You're going to be a problem. Or you're going to be a problem there, Ray Fisher? You're going to be a problem. So my worry is that AT&T, who is not involved, right? So AT&T is the company that bought out Warner Bros., right? So that means AT&T paid millions.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about, I think it's like about 80 million. Oh, or just 800. I think it's 80, whatever. But the point is, they paid out millions for Zach to recut this whole special 4-part series, right? They
Mm-hmm.
have nothing to do with what Warner Brothers did. They have nothing to do with their
Yeah.
executives, but they bought it. So we bought your poison. Thanks for giving us the poison that is in this bowl, right? But because Zach wants the original footage back, which is that Cyborg is the heart of the film, he's a problem. And so people want him to quiet down,
Yeah.
bro, because there are thousands of people who worked for like 3 or 4 years to get this film in front of the public. And you are the heart of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're becoming a problem. I mean, what do you think? Do you think he should have waited to the film release before he started all this? Because I don't think his intention is to stop the film from being released. But AT&T could just all of a sudden go, drop it.
Like I've gone past telling black artists what they should do, because for too long we've tried. No. But
I get
to be
you.
honest, for too long we've tried to please a certain audience, and only thing that we've made it a certain audience, and because of that, we have to censor our voice a little bit.
Yeah.
You would say that, at least for me, I'll wait until the film is out. I'm not going to bite the hand of the dog. I'm not going to bite the hand that's feeding me while it's feeding me. I'll bite it afterwards, after I get it, and I'll say, here's what. Yes, you might have liked me in this film, but this film was hell to make. There are so much scenes that I was in that they cut. The writing was poor. I'd make all those criticisms after the fact.
Yeah, but it wasn't hell to make that
We have
part of
learned
it. It wasn't hell to make that part
recently.
of it. It wasn't hell to make that part of it. This is what I mean. It's like, I mean, you could be causing a stick or a cane to the kneecap of Zack Snyder. It wasn't hell to make that part of it.
Yeah,
But now they could say, hey, wait a minute, where's Cyborg stuff? Is it in episode 2 or 1? All right, cut that. What happens
he's
then?
difficult.
What happens
You
then?
understand?
Yeah,
He's
well,
difficult. Well, again, and that's exactly what people do. That's
exactly
exactly
what
how it
people
happens.
do, and this is what I'm
You
afraid
understand?
of. I
Right.
believe people have a voice and they have a right to speak their voice and everything, but there's a time for everything. Say it to my son all the time. There's a time for everything, bro. What do you want to get out of this? Because what you want to get out of this, you're not
Listen to
going
me,
to
yeah.
get.
I
You know
would
what I
say
mean?
that. I would say that. I agree with you, but I also would have to say that if you
Mhm.
feel that you need to say it, say it.
And he
If you
did.
think
He
that you
did
could deal
until
with the
now. It's
consequences
getting out of
of
hand.
saying it, do it.
And he did until now. It's getting out of
Yeah.
hand. This is my point. It's getting out of hand now, and it's becoming one of those unraveling balls of string. And you can't put it all back together the same way. And this is the problem. You know,
Do you
um,
think, in your sage and wisdom, and I know you told me to ask too much questions, but I have to.
hmm?
In your wisdom, do you think that this can turn into another Monique?
Monique. Oh my God, the disappearance of Monique.
Like what's going on with Monique and Lee
Mm,
Daniels? And do you think it's going to turn into that? Could
dude,
it turn
this
into that?
dude, this is the problem. Jeff Daniels will be Lee Daniels in the story. I mean, Jeff Johns will be Lee Daniels in the story. Do you know what I mean? Because the factor is that you don't mess with my boy in the corner.
That's exactly what it is.
You don't mess with my boy in the corner, bruv.
Yeah.
Oh no, no, you shouldn't have done that. What you think is right is not right for everyone else. This is the problem. I mean, Chadwick said it in his speech, actually,
Yeah.
bringing it back to him. He said it in his speech to Howard, where he was talking about his experience on All My Children. They brought
Yeah.
him on and they had a contract and they were like, look, man, we want to make you famous. You're fantastic and everything like that. You got any questions? He's like, yeah, I got a question about this character. You do? I love it. When he said, "Yeah, why is he? My mom's on heroin. Why is my dad isn't?" And the producer did this. And then they said, "Well, thank you for your concerns." And he went out, finished the shoot of the day, and then he got fired. Right? And you're just going. Your manager calls him, and then who takes over his role is Michael B. Jordan. End the story. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, man. I mean, we gotta go. I mean, it would have been good to mention about the Boyega thing, but I would say is Boyega did it right. All right. So when I said there's a time and place, when Boyega went after Kathleen
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy and the whole team of Disney, he did it when the movie was over.
Mm.
So why couldn't you
Yeah.
do it, Ray? You know what I'm saying? He did when
Yeah.
the movie was over. And he's
Um,
like, I will have nothing to do with your freaking Star Wars crap ever again. So that means they don't get him at a convention. So what? You know what I mean?
yeah.
And stuff like that. Now what they're doing is they're now making a whole new Star Wars trilogy and they're like, scrap that one. That's exactly what they've done. They scrapped it and they're working on a whole new trilogy. So is Kathleen Kennedy fired? No. Still there. Still at the top of the throne. What would have done, bruh, if
Lee
he spoke?
Daniels still working.
Yeah,
Is what?
except for the fact that empire is over. But hey, what are you gonna do?
Well, Empire was not. Empire was not fully his fault. Let's be real.
No, it wasn't. No, but
Empire
again, you
had a
can you
lot
can
of
always you
problems.
can always blame the black actor involved in that one because when Jesse Smollett went crazy, the show went downhill from there. They should have ended it, but hey, they didn't, and tragically it fell. Tragically, the fall of an empire. That's another story for another day.
Yeah.
So let me just thank you very much for
That's,
joining me entertaining, right? It started out as a lament and ended as a rant. But but that's how it is, man. Black Lives Matter. It does, seriously. As I said it with a smile. Anyway, I'm Chief Johnson Lynch, and you are out.
But we came here to
supposed to say I'm mad at you,
but
sex.
We came here to pay respects to Chadwick Boseman today.
And we did.
And his amazing work. Yeah. They had a lot more in him to come out, and I'm very sad that we didn't get to see it. I think he just started to become a star. I think that
no. Started?
Come on, man. No.
He had some great stuff.
I'm just saying, he did. I'm not disputing he had some great stuff, right? But I think that he was becoming a lot more mainstream. That's what I mean. We have a lot of black actors. Like now, we see a lot of black actors who they're now becoming mainstream as much as we've lived with them for decades.
Yeah.
You understand? And people are now experiencing them the way we get to experience them. Look at bloody Regina King, you know?
Oh yeah, right, exactly.
Kind of got her dues, and we have been watching her since she's been a kid.
The love of your life, right? For us. Yeah, you creeper.
Yeah, so we have all of those things. We have all of those things now coming out, and I'm glad to be able to share it. And it's sad that he got cut down, so early. But it just shows, it literally speaks to black artists suffer without people knowing it. How do we address that? How do we address an atmosphere where you can't come out and say, I'm not
feeling what? Yeah. As opposed to saying, hey man, that guy's a bit precious. And you know what? Last thing I'll say on that one is that, I really look to those other Avengers who probably thought the same thing and said nothing and just said, look at that. Fame went to his head. Not mine as I get in my Maserati and stuff like that.
He's eating different food and he can't be here on a Tuesday. Yeah,
Oh, he can't be here on a Tuesday.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, these are the kind of things where people would think that, a black person is making an excuse.
Exactly. You got it, man. You got it. You hit it on the nail. He can't be here on a Tuesday. Oh, man, that motherfucker.
like Chase, I would be surprised if some black actor dies and they had, like 1 foot all this time and nobody knew because they always swore, I will not be surprised if,
who had 1 foot? On. Let me think.
Again.
Anyway, let me go, bro.
Let's just imagine if Denzel Washington had 1 foot all this time, but he couldn't had to keep acting. You understand?
He would have.
but
No, I know. I think he would have.
I think that Chadwick Boseman was also the Will Smith of this generation.
Oh, you went
right? I think it takes no. Let's be honest. It takes a black person of a certain type of it takes a certain type of black person.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
With a certain type of appeal to appeal to diverse audiences.
You're right.
Will Smith did that.
Yes, you're right.
I think Chadwick Boseman also did that.
Yeah, you're right. Big up and respect to Will Smith.
He's not loud like Samuel David. Yeah.
Samuel David? You mean Samuel Jackson?
So,
you're fired.
Who knew? No. Yeah, sorry. No, yeah, my mistake. Knew he could have sung. Who knew he could have danced? So,
yeah, I know, exactly. Anyway, I've been trying to end this about 5 minutes ago, but so just say who you are and goodbye.
All right, we keep going.
All right, he's Addae G. He won't tell you who he is. I'm James Johnson, and this is Black on Black.
I'm Addae G, and we're here. Yeah.
No, what it is, he misses this. Yeah, and he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to end the stream.
Live.
Bye. I'm cutting. Jesus Christ, man.